Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts, and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look again on the cryptocurrencies. So since our last discussion on Thursday, although we suggested that market could show a bit deeper downward action first, this hasn't happened, and market was able to proceed higher actually. So from the fundamental point of view, it's a few reasons for that actually. I mean, if we will take a look at the financial fundamentals, economical, because performance of the interest rates stands strong, and if you take a look at the 10-year yield in the United States, you could see that jumps above the 2.5% already, and our prediction is continuing here, which is definitely not in favor of any other assets that do not generate any interest, including the maybe stocks, not dividend stocks. So this actually explains why the gold market shows a bit weaker performance, as just rising on the interest rates makes more attractive investing in the bonds. But at the same time, on the Bitcoin, we see relatively good performance, and actually market is coming to a very important area. Hopefully, if indeed something is changing in the sentiment of the investors, that could provide additional stimulus for more extended upward action, and market actually comes to the point that theoretically splits the area where we could treat this performance as a retracement of the downside trend, and when we could speak about the upward action as probably something new, maybe the continuation of the upward action. So this point stands very close currently. And on the monthly chart, one of the important levels here, it's mostly psychological sentiment level, is 48 even, yearly pivot point. So previously market, as you can see, dropped below the yearly pivot and move above it. This will be important sentiment event. When the market stands above the pivot, it tells you that sentiment is changing and becoming more optimistic. That's the first point that we could keep watching, at least on the long-term chart. Despite the trend stands bearish here, that might be important moment. At least it definitely will be the part of the context and bullish context if it will be formed a bit later. To be honest, guys, I suppose, it's my just personal opinion, you could disagree of course, that performance of the Bitcoin mostly has the fiscal background, just because situation in Europe becoming worse, and recent decisions that have been made in the consumption of the gas consumption of the hydrocarbons, where Europe is following in the trend of the United States, accepting sanctions that they haven't imposed. So this makes situation really difficult in the economy of the European Union. And investors who see that, trying to diversify risk, trying to find some safe haven. So as the Bank of America tells in recent reports, they see the outflows from the equities in Europe, and in general, currently the sentiment stands that I do not want to be on the European market. So it's some tendency. Actually, this is not something unexpected. We have talked about this just when all this turmoil has started, and it's keep going. And my suggestion is that recent rally, it is not because of changing of the sentiment, it is not because of changing of the fundamentals, but it's just because of the distributing of the European money in any other possible assets. Some assets have been probably invested in bonds in the United States and stocks, but some part has been sent to cryptocurrencies as well. And actually, just when the sanctions have been imposed, you could see the big jump on the Bitcoin that was reversed really fast. It just shows the same thing. So when the money of the Russian oligarchs turns to the distributing and moving out of the accounts, they have been put, some of them have been put in cryptocurrencies, and that explains first the big jump, second big reversal. So, but here is a bit long-lasting and gradual process, because this is not result of the sanction imposed. This is some just disbalance between the performance of the United States economy and the situation in Europe. And this logically leads to rebalancing of the capitals between these two big parts of the financial world. That's my opinion why we see the upward action on the Bitcoin. How long it will last is difficult to say. But currently, well, it stands, and we just should not ignore it. So on lower time frame on the weekly chart, let's take a look what we have. Market has completed ABCD pattern here and stands, well, near the actually breakout for the confluence resistance, which is also might be very important. Weekly trend has turned bullish. Potentially this performance keeps chances on a possible upward continuation to the next resistance around 55 area. That will happen if we will see the proper reaction of the market on the daily support areas, if it will be able to stay on the intraday supports, on the daily supports, out of this top, some retracement. In this case, we could expect upward continuation to the 55 area. In the case if market will fail and break major supports down, let's mostly keep our view on the possible downward continuation. So depending on what position you would like to take, you probably will be watching for a bit different levels and different patterns. So for example, on a daily chart, if you'd like to go short, you could see what has happened. Market has completed ABCD pattern. CD leg here is a bit lower and slower, and market hits the 30% resistance on the daily chart. From this top to this bottom, 30% pullback. Also, this is long-term trend line resistance. So that is potentially the area where bears could consider taking the short position. All things that you actually should do is following to our common practice. So when we see the good patterns and resistance levels, we drop our time frame lower to the hourly chart, maybe start searching for minor bearish reversal patterns. Once they will be formed, you could try to take the short position, because at least minor pullback here should happen. And that is a potential trade with a relatively low risk. So because minor technical response and the respect of this level lets you to protect your position with a break-even stop. And let's see what will happen. If you will get lucky, it might be market will reestablish downward action. This also is possible. But we have got this triple to sell. We have ABCD simultaneously at the fib level, so which is give us agreement resistance, and we have this trend line. Additionally, but currently, guys, we treat this only as a pullback. It's just because trend stands bullish. We have the bullish trend on the daily. We have the bullish trend on the weekly. So currently, we do not have yet the context for possible downside strong action. Initially, we take the just nearest targets and suppose that will be just the pullback first. So on the 4-hour time frame chart, you could see that also butterfly has been completed with this 127 extension. So you can see lots of different targets stands in the resistance area, and that just makes the overall context more reliable, at least for a pullback. So that's what about the bearish trade if you'd like to go short. For those who would like to go long, obviously you probably should wait for some retracement to consider taking the long position. So it seems that the first level that might be suitable for that stands around 43.80, which will be nearest 30% support from this low to this top. Actually, it will be the 30% of the butterfly, which is minimum target usually reaction on the target here of the butterfly. Also, it stands very close to the previous top, so that's the first level. Next level stands also very close. It's approximately 41, 42.50. There's two levels, not some kind of the confluence, but it's a bit wide for a confluence. But anyway, this conjunction of these two different levels. So probably these possible levels are the one that you need to keep an eye on if you would like to go long. Additionally, these levels will be kind of the test for a market. So if it will be able to stay above it, showing retracement and starting upward action, that will be the confirmation that we're going higher. And the next target here will be, as you can see, XOP with this ABCD pattern, that agrees with the next resistance level. As we said, it will be 55.10, 55.30 approximately. So that's our short-term setup. So for taking short position, you are considering this area, dropping your time frame, trying to catch the bearish reversal pattern on the hourly chart. For taking long position, you are sitting on the hands, wait for a pullback and watching for these two levels, where potentially, if market indeed bullish and tends to keep going higher, where potentially here we could get the upward reversal again.